Hello everyone, Ron here from RJJ's Reactions, and I am here with Leonard Cohen. And this was a request from Thoreau. I'm probably saying that name wrong, but the song's title is Treaty. And of course, Leonard Cohen is a great Canadian poet, singer, artist. He lived around the world though, and he explored a lot about life and I think the psychology and religion, various religions and beliefs, and yeah, very, very interesting individual for sure. I really love Leonard Cohen, always did from the first time I heard him. And the first time I heard him was actually on a television program, and he was being very hilarious and doing some comedy. So there you go. The man could do almost anything. Um, let's hope that wasn't creaking too much. These headphones sometimes creak a lot. Before I jump into the song Treaty, and this was from his last album just before he died, You Want It Darker. But just before I jump in, just hit that subscribe button if you don't mind. Thank you to all those who have. There's information about other ways you can support the channel, including buy me a coffee or donate to PayPal. And you can use either one of those methods if you want your request bumped up as well. We will have a look at the lyrics afterwards as well, because as I said, Leonard Cohen was a poet and wrote his own lyrics. So let's jump into the song now. All right, there's the man, and of course he was an older man by the time he recorded this, so quite amazing.
I've seen you change the water into wine. I've seen you change it back to water too. I sit at your table every night. I try, but I just don't get high with you. I wish there was a treaty we could sign. I do not care who takes this bloody hill. I'm angry and I'm tired all the time.
Stop for a second. I love the piano intro, and then of course Leonard with his deep, deep voice coming in. Spoken music in this case, really, but that's what Leonard did a lot of. Some people debate whether or not the man actually sings, but I think sometimes you could call it singing, but sometimes it's more spoken word in a way.
I do not care who takes this bloody hill.
Great line, that.
I'm angry and I'm tired all the time. I wish there was a treaty. I wish there was a treaty between your love and mine. Ah, they're dancing in the street, it's Jubilee. We sold ourselves for love, but now we're free. I'm so sorry for that ghost I made you be. Only one of us was real, and that was me. I haven't said a word since you've been gone that any liar couldn't say as well. I just can't believe the static coming on. You were my ground, my safe and sound. You were my Ariel. All the fields are crying out, it's Jubilee. We sold ourselves for love, but now we're free. I'm so sorry for that ghost I made you be. Only one of us was real, and that was me. I heard the snake was baffled by his sin. He shed his scales to find the snake within. but born again is born without a skin. The poison enters into everything. And I wish there was a treaty we could sign. And do not care who takes this bloody hill. I'm angry and I'm tired all the time. I wish there was a treaty. I wish there was a treaty.
I'll back up a little bit. I'm going to talk about the lyrics separately, but just you can feel the sort of angst, the sort of wishing that something could have been better, something could have, there could have been a treaty, there could have been a better connection, a clearer connection, a clearer understanding, and we're going to talk about that. He talks about an aerial or an antenna or something, and yeah, but you can feel it, even if you're not an English speaker or understanding the lyrics, you can feel that emotion that he's displaying or singing or speaking, whatever you want to say. Yeah, you can just feel it in your bones almost.
Bloody hill. I'm angry and I'm tired all the time. I wish there was a treaty. I wish there was a treaty between your love and mine.
I love that piano. Very good. The older and the younger, Leonard there. Okay. Yeah. Well, excellent from Leonard. This album, You Want It Darker, is dark for sure. It's very dark, and Leonard can be dark. He was certainly dark in some of his earlier songs as well. But this album is very, very dark. I do have the album. I don't have it in this format. I have it as a CD actually. I listened to it. I got it shortly after it came out. I listened to it a few times and have not listened to it since. So it's been years since I've heard it. Partly because it is so dark, it is so difficult, and then I went through a lot of dark times myself in the last few years. So with various deaths and whatnot. So it's sometimes difficult to listen to albums of that kind. I do sometimes, though. It's cathartic also. So let's have a look at the lyrics now. Here we are, Treaty by Leonard Cohen. I came in here to do this and then realized that I just grabbed these lyrics from somewhere and some of the lyrics were not right. So I grabbed my little booklet that came with the CD and it had the lyrics in. So I adjusted where there were a couple of mistakes here. It's always a risk when you're grabbing them online. Treaty by Leonard Cohen, written by Leonard Cohen, of course. I've seen you change the water into wine. I've seen you change it back to water, too. I sit at your table every night. I try, but I just don't get high with you. So, is he talking about a relationship, a love interest, or is he talking about God? Because there's a lot of religious connotations or allusions within many of Cohen's lyrics. Uh, he was I think he was a religious man in a way, but he was a complicated man. So I think he was always questioning and wondering, and he was Jewish, but he also looked into Buddhism, and I think other things too. I think, and always looking at love and the soul, whether a literal soul or a colloquial soul, I'm not sure, and all and the psychology and all of these things. So I think questions that a lot of people have, but he thought about them very deeply, and I know he talked about how long it took him to write some of his songs and some of his lyrics, and that he would agonize almost just to get the next line, sometimes for weeks or even years. So, yeah, very thoughtful man. So obviously, change water into wine. We know the illusion there. Uh, but change it back to water too. So we don't always have this great connection, whether that's with the other person or with a God. And I just don't get high with you. We're not connecting. We're not. It's not working. I wish there was a treaty we could sign. I do not care who takes this bloody hill. So, yeah, talking about war and who gets that next foot of land or whatever. Who gets to be king of the castle or king of the hill, I should say. Um, and at some point you don't care anymore. I'm angry and I'm tired all the time. I wish there was a treaty between your love and mine. So again, could be relationships with people, could be relationship with some fictional entity. And I say fictional because that's what I believe it is. And I have no proof otherwise. And until I get proof, I'm afraid that's where it'll stay. They're dancing in the street. It's Jubilee, again, relating to religious celebration. We sold ourselves for love, but now we're free. I'm so sorry for that ghost I made you be. Only one of us was real, and that was me. So, uh, lots of things going on here. Again, could be another person, because sometimes in a relationship, one person or one partner uh, becomes almost a non-person. They're an attachment to the real person. So it could be something like along those lines. Um, of course, and it could be God as well. I'm sorry for the ghost I made you be. Only one of us was real, and that was me. And that's true. But yeah, so lots going on there. We sold ourselves for love, but now we're free. So there's a good contradiction going on there. I haven't said a word since you've been gone that any liar couldn't say as well. I just can't believe the static coming on. You were my ground, my safe and sound. You were my aerial. Um, so like an antenna, like an aerial to bring in the reception to get, in the old days anyway, with radio and television. Um, so he lost his grounding. And again, this could be a love interest, this could be God, this could be both. I just can't believe the static coming on. So you're not picking up the reception, you're not getting the messages. You were my ground, my safe and sound, but now it's lost, right? Where is it? Was it ever real, or was this just a ghost? Um, the fields are crying out, it's Jubilee. We sold ourselves for love, but now we're free. I'm so sorry for that ghost I made you be. Okay, I'm just rereading the same thing. I heard the snake was baffled by his sin. He shed his scales to find the snake within. But born again is born without a skin. The poison enters into everything. So, of course, some more allusions to uh, biblical stories. Um, and the Old Testament particularly, and the snake, and yeah, I don't want to go into it too far because yeah, I have very strong feelings and beliefs, not beliefs even. I, I don't consider myself. I don't consider them beliefs because that word carries too much weight in terms of belief without evidence, belief without rationalization, in my opinion. But yeah, the snake told the truth, by the way. And I wish there was a treaty we could sign. Uh, I should say in the fictional story. And I wish there was a treaty we could sign. I do not care who takes this bloody hill. I'm angry and I'm tired all the time. I wish there was a treaty between your love and mine. And of course, I don't know exactly when he wrote this song, and it may have taken him a long time because he did start to write and then leave it and then come back to songs too. So who knows exactly? But this is in the album that he did at near the end of his life, very near the end of his life, and he probably was tired by then for sure. But it might have been much earlier in life too. Just tired of trying to make that connection, make it real. Again, whether that's a love interest, a person, or a God, and wanting there to be a treaty because at least then you know where we stand. Where do we stand exactly? Why all this guessing? Why all these different religions? Why all these different interpretations of the same religion and interpretations within interpretations within interpretations? And some books are accepted and some books are not. But in this little niche over here, other books are accepted and other books are not. And it's just, where's the treaty? Where's the real bond if we're talking about God, if we're talking about religion? Or if we're talking about people, sometimes you feel like it would be better if you had a treaty. I'm not so sure that that works very well, but between love relationships, but sometimes you feel, yeah, let me know where I stand, and you know where you stand, and we know what all the rules are, and then we don't have to do this constant battle and see who can win, because should it be a battle? Should there be a winner? Should someone take the bloody hill? Maybe not. Maybe that's not the way to go. Anyway, that's my quick interpretation looking at the lyrics very closely. And I don't think I did look at the lyrics very closely before I listened to the CD. As I said, it was very dark. So I would have heard some of the lyrics because you can hear him singing them. But I don't think I sat down and read through them and did that sort of thing, because this was later. In my earlier years, when I was a teenager in my 20s, I did sit down, and when there were lyrics with the albums and CDs a little later, well, actually cassettes in between that, albums, cassettes, CDs, um, 78s before this. But anyway, some of them had lyrics, and I used to sit and read through them very carefully. But as I got older, I didn't have the time to do that as much, so I don't think I did. Anyway, let me know what you think of this song, Leonard Cohen in general, other artists that you might want me to react to. Don't forget to like the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Click that subscribe button and the notification bell. All right, it's Ron from RJJ's Reactions. Keep listening, keep having fun. Bye bye for now.